in this video, what we will do, we add this title and this description. Okay, so if we go back on this welcome view, what we want to do inside this rounded rectangle, we want to display this title and this description. Okay, so how are we gonna to do this? Well, in order to do this, what we can do on this rounded rectangle, we can add an overlay. Okay, and what is an overlay? Basically, an overlay is something that will display on top of our element. Okay, as you can see here, this rounded rectangle is like the background, and now on top of this we want this title and this description. Okay, so with that said, what we can do, we can come on this rounded rectangle. Let me maybe reduce this. Okay, and maybe close this. Okay, I think this is better. So here, after this foreground color, what we can do, we can come here and add this overlay. And inside this overlay, what we want to do, we want to add our text. Okay, so here inside this, what we want to add this text. And for the text itself, it's gonna to be welcome to, because we will divide it. Okay, as you can see, welcome to has a color, and this count crossings has another color. Okay, so for this one, welcome to, you can start with this one, welcome to. And now what we want to do, we want to style it. Okay, because as you can see, by default this one is black. Okay, and it doesn't look exactly as a finish up. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to come on this text and style it. Okay, and the first thing we can do is to add a font. Okay, so here on this text we can simply say font, and for the font we want a custom font. Okay, so here we can say custom, and here for the name of our font, what we will use is this American type whited bold. Okay, let me write it down for you. So it's American type whited bold, and here for the size, what we want is 36. And as you can see now, for the font, it looks exactly as our finish up. Okay, and what we want to do next is to change the color. Okay, so here after this font, what we can do, we can specify the foreground color, so that foreground color. And the color we want, we don't want this blue color, but the color we want is what we did in the previous video. Okay, so we want this my primary color. So the way we can get it is by calling this color, and we want to specify the name. Okay, so for us is my primary color. Okay, perfect. And now as you can see, it's looking exactly as the finish up. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, we want to do the same thing for these count crossings. Okay, so what we can do, as you might have noticed, the font here is the same thing, and the only change is this color. Okay, so what we can do, we can copy this text and we can paste it, and here instead of welcome to, what we want is this count crossings. Okay, okay, perfect. But now as you can see, it's complaining. Okay, because what we need a v stack. Okay, we need these two to be inside a v stack. So here on this overlay, what we can do, we can add this v stack, and here inside of v stack, what we can do, we can cut this and we can put it inside this v stack. Okay, because inside an overlay we can only have like one parent. Okay, so because we have two texts, what we want to do, we want to embed those two inside a v stack. Okay, and as you can see, we have this result, but here we don't want the same color. Okay, because as you can see here, this color is red. So here instead of this my primary color, what we want to do, we want it to be my accent color. Okay, so here instead of primary, simply want to replace it with accent, and as you can see, the color change. Okay, and I think it's looking good. Okay, we are getting closer to the finish up. So now as you can see, we want to play with the position. Okay, because right now by default everything we add inside this overlay will be center. Okay, but we don't want this, we don't want it to be center, we want it at the top. Okay, so what we can do, we can play with the alignment. Okay, on this v stack. Okay, so here for the alignment, what we want to do, we want to specify it to be leading. Okay, so that leading, and as you can see, it will put everything, we won't center anymore, it will put it at the beginning. Okay, but this is still on center. Okay, this is still center inside overlay. Okay, so how can we put this one here at the very top? In order to do so, what we can do, we can embed this on VStack into another VStack. Okay, let us do it. So embed in VStack, and what we want to do, we want to push this at the top. Okay, so here we can simply add this spacer, and as you can see, if we add this spacer, it will push this to the very top. Okay, and now what we want to do, we want to push it here. Okay, so in order to push it to the left, what we can do on this VStack, what we can do, we can add another alignment. Okay, so if we simply come here and we copy this and we paste it here, normally you're supposed to align this to the very left. Okay, but as you can see, it's not working and I don't know why, but for now it's okay. Let us move to this description. So if we want to add this description, what we can do is to add another text. Okay, so here inside this VStack, what we can do, we can simply come here and copy this. Okay, so we want to copy this text, and now before this spacer, okay, what we can do, we can simply paste it, and here for the text itself, what we want to do, we want to change it to this explore the beauty of Canada. So it's gonna to be explore the beauty of Canada with can crossings. And here for the size, we want to keep the same font, but for the size, we don't want 36. What we want is 16. Okay, and here we also don't want this foreground color anymore, so we can remove this. And as you can see, for some reason now our text is at the very left, and it's because of this alignment. I don't know why it wasn't working before, but anyway. So now I think everything is looking good except for one thing. Here for this font, we don't want it to be bold, so we can remove this bold, and as you can see now it's not bold anymore. And yeah, to finish this, what we can do, we can add some padding. Okay, because as you can see on the finish app, we have some padding. Okay, on this VStack. So here on this VStack, what we want to do, we want to add this that padding, and here we can specify a small padding. Okay, so we can maybe put 5. Okay, and you guys can of course play with this value. You can maybe put 10. I think 10 is okay, or maybe 15. Let's see. 10. Nope, 15 is too much, so let's go with 10. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, we can see that it's looking good. The next thing we want to do, if you notice here, the spacing here between this welcome and can crossings, it's not the same. Okay, because on the finish app we can see that this is closer. Okay, so what we can do here on this VStack, remember this VStack has this welcome to and this can crossing. Okay, so on this VStack, what we can do, we can add this on spacing. Okay, so spacing, and what we want to do, we want to put a negative value. So for us it's gonna to be -9, and as we can see, we'll reduce this. Okay, and of course, as I said, you can play with this also, and we will push it a little, we will make it a little bit more closer. Okay, but for the sake of this video, what we want is this -9, and I think everything is looking good. Okay guys, so I think this is the end of this video. We successfully added this title and this description. Okay, so in the next video we'll start doing our buttons. Okay, so get excited for this guide, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.